In just a few hours, the situation in the Middle East suddenly heated up. While tensions continue between Iran, the United States, and its allied countries, a new controversy has emerged that has caused even greater fear throughout the region. According to reports, Iranian President Pezeshkian was reportedly furious after learning that the IRGC carried out a missile and drone attack against the UAE without even informing the Iranian government itself. For him, this is a dangerous and almost insane move because it could lead to a wider war in the Gulf region. It's even more shocking because some observers are now saying that the IRGC seems to be acting independently from the official government of Iran. This means that even though there are diplomats and officials talking to ease the tension, there are military groups taking their own actions behind the government's back. In the past few days, a video even surfaced where the Iranian president was reportedly apologizing to their neighboring countries in the Gulf. It's as if he's admitting that the situation is really getting worse, and the government no longer has control over what's happening. But just a few days later, he suddenly retracted his statement, reportedly after pressure from the IRGC. While that was happening, military activity around the Strait of Hormuz continued to intensify. This is one of the most important routes for oil and international shipping. If this area is affected, it could also impact oil prices and the global economy. Because of this, Operation Freedom began, where the U.S. Navy helps ships that have been stuck in the Persian Gulf for months to safely pass through the Strait of Hormuz. Cargo ships have reportedly been stuck in the area for over 2 months. Some of them are reportedly running out of supplies and food, so America was forced to take action to ensure the ships could pass through safely. According to reports, several ships recently crossed successfully with an escort from the U.S. Navy without any problems. But while that was happening, there were also consecutive reports about clashes at sea. The U.S. Navy also reportedly confirmed that 2 American destroyers, the USS Choctaw and USS Mason, passed through the Strait of Hormuz amid heightened tensions. The report said that they were blocked by the Iranians using boats, drones, and missile attacks while patrolling the area. But according to the U.S., they quickly suppressed the threats and drove back the Iranian boats that approached their convoy. At the same time, there were also consecutive reports of explosions in several coastal areas of Iran, especially in the areas near the Strait of Hormuz. Up to now, there are still many speculations about what really caused these explosions. Some believe that this is connected to the escalating conflict, while others think that there might be an internal conflict happening within Iran itself. Amidst all of this, the tension increased even more after U.S. President Donald Trump released a statement. According to Trump, Iran allegedly fired at several ships that had no direct involvement in military operations, including a South Korean cargo ship that was just passing through the region. As time goes by, the situation becomes even more complicated. On one hand, there are Iranian officials who want to restore diplomacy and negotiations. But on the other hand, there are armed groups that seem to want to escalate the conflict further. And if this kind of action continues in the Strait of Hormuz, many experts fear that it won't just affect the Middle East, but the whole world as well. As tensions continue in the Strait of Hormuz, the situation is heating up even more after a new statement from Donald Trump was released. According to Trump, it might be time for South Korea to join America's mission in the region, especially after a South Korean cargo ship was shot at while passing through the area. He also said that U.S. forces were able to take down 7 Iranian fast boats. These are said to be small but fast boats that Iran often uses to harass ships passing through the Strait of Hormuz. He added that aside from the South Korean ship, no other vessels were damaged while the operation was being conducted at sea. Following this, it was also announced that Secretary of War Pete Hegseth and Chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff Dan Kane will hold a press conference. The next day, they will provide clearer details about what happened. As various reports come out from international media, many are asking just how severe Iran's attack on the United Arab Emirates really was. There are some reports saying that an oil port in the United Arab Emirates was hit and that a fire even broke out. And if that's true, that's a big problem because it's one of the most important routes for oil shipments in the country. But it's noticeable that U.S. President Donald Trump seemed to downplay the whole incident. He hardly mentions that this could clearly be a violation of the ceasefire that has been in effect for almost 3 weeks. Because of this, observers are divided in their opinions. Some believe that there might have been quiet negotiations happening behind closed doors. That's why America is avoiding blowing up the issue right away. But others say this might just be a strategy while the U.S. prepares for a bigger military response. When you look at satellite images and military tracking reports, the increase in military traffic going to the Gulf countries is noticeable, especially toward the U.S. bases in the region. It's as if America is gradually preparing for a bigger operation. But despite all these movements, the tone of U.S. officials remains calm, as if nothing serious is happening. After this, Central Command Commander Admiral Brad Cooper spoke about what exactly happened in the Strait of Hormuz. According to Admiral Cooper, not only U.S. Navy ships were targeted by Iranian cruise missiles, but also commercial ships passing through the area. He said that the U.S. Navy did everything to protect not only their own ships, but also civilian cargo vessels. He added that U.S. forces also reportedly prevented several drone attacks against commercial ships. Meanwhile, the Iranian fast boats were taken down using Apache and Seahawk helicopters as they tried to approach the cargo vessels. But while the situation at sea is heating up, there is another alarming development happening inside Iran itself. There have been consecutive reports about powerful explosions in southern Iran, particularly in Cheshem and Bandar Abbas. According to a well-known Iranian journalist who still manages to get information from inside the country, at around 4 a.m. Iranian time, he received reports about consecutive explosions in different parts of the southern coast of Iran. First, there was an explosion in the Hormuz area. Then after that, there were 2 more explosions in Cheshem. And just a few minutes later, there were more explosions in Bandar Abbas. What's surprising is that these happened almost one after another in just a short span of time. Because of this, many analysts believe that there is a major operation or military activity happening around the Strait of Hormuz and the Gulf of Oman. And even before this news came out, military observers noticed another unusual movement. They reportedly saw a large number of U.S. refueler tankers moving toward the region. This is something that usually happens when America is preparing for large-scale air operations. Along with the explosions in southern Iran, there was another development that further alarmed military analysts. U.S. aerial refueler tankers were spotted flying one after another from various American bases in the Middle East directly to the United Arab Emirates, the country that was allegedly attacked by Iran just a day before. And according to observers, the number of aircraft in operation was not normal. On Monday, it was estimated that around 40 aerial refueler tankers flew from U.S. bases in the Middle East to the United Arab Emirates after Iran's attack on the country. By Tuesday, 6 more aircraft immediately took off within just about 30 minutes. If you look at this separately, some might think it's just an ordinary military movement. But when you combine Iran's attack on the United Arab Emirates and the reports from Israeli media, the suspicion grows stronger that a major military response is coming. For others, this is no longer a simple escalation because Iran itself allegedly started it after targeting the United Arab Emirates and commercial ships in the Strait of Hormuz. Because of this, some countries are already preparing for a possible direct operation. According to Israeli reports, the U.S. and Israel are already discussing targeting Iranian missile launchers and some energy facilities in response to the attack. At the same time, the government of the United Arab Emirates also announced online classes and remote programs from May 5 to May 8 as the situation in the region heats up. Because of this, many are asking if another attack is expected or if the United Arab Emirates has intelligence information that has not yet been released to the public. Meanwhile, U.S. President Donald Trump also gave several interviews about the situation. But it's noticeable that he avoids directly talking about the attack on the United Arab Emirates. Instead, he is more focused on the condition of Iran's oil infrastructure. According to Trump, the situation is dangerous because if Iran's underground oil systems are damaged, it could cause massive explosions that could destroy the country's energy network. He added that there are reports saying Iran is running out of storage capacity for their oil reserves. And if that continues in the coming weeks, it could cause chain reactions that would severely damage their oil facilities. Aside from this, Trump also spoke about America's red lines in the ongoing negotiations with Iran.
Now we're doing well. Now we have to get what we have to get. If we don't do that, we'll have to go a big step further. But with that being said, they want to make a deal. We've had very good talks over the last 24 hours, and it's very possible that we'll make a...
Although there are no official details yet, many believe that secret talks are taking place while military tension in the region continues. In an interview, Trump was directly asked if one of the U.S. conditions was for Iran to give up its highly enriched uranium. According to him, yes. That is one of America's most important red lines.
Hi, Mr. President. Can you tell us what you think about extracting the uranium from Iran?
We're going to get it.
How will you get it?
We're going to get it.
As the interview went on, Trump became even more direct about Iran's nuclear program. He said that even if Iran manages to recover some of their enriched uranium, it might not matter much anymore because of the severe damage to their nuclear facilities. According to him, the American bombs hit their targets exactly, even though the operation was carried out in the middle of the night, around 1 a.m. with almost no moonlight. Trump said it was one of America's most successful military operations. That's why he used the word obliterated to describe what happened to Iran's nuclear sites. Trump added that, according to some assessments, some of Iran's nuclear facilities might never be used again because their underground systems are almost completely destroyed. But America still wants to get Iran's remaining enriched uranium so it can't be used to make nuclear weapons. When he was asked about Iran's missile program, he said that it also needs to be limited. But for the U.S., the most important goal is to make sure that Iran will not have a nuclear weapon. As the discussion about a military response heats up, Senator Lindsey Graham also spoke. According to him, America might not need to send its own soldiers because there are already millions of Iranian citizens who could fight against their government if they have weapons. There have long been reports that the U.S. might provide weapons to some Kurdish groups so they can pass them on to anti-government protesters in Iran. And now it seems that issue is coming up again. When asked, Trump said he believes that many Iranian citizens would fight if they had weapons because it's difficult for ordinary people to fight against armed soldiers. But he also admitted that he is conflicted about this. According to him, around 42,000 people have already died within just the first 2 weeks of the conflict. Despite this, there are also reports that the morale of some Iranian fighters is weakening due to intense military strikes and economic pressure. And this is where the bigger question comes in. Why does it seem like Iran is willing to risk the entire region, even though the situation inside their own country is getting worse? To understand that, they say we need to look back not just at the Islamic Revolution in 1979, but also at Iran's older history during the time of the Qajar dynasty in the 19th century.